So how does the Outgrow Analytics tab work? So the Analytics tab is a question we get pretty often as well. And the key thing to think about when it comes to analytics is the three sections that we have on the left and how to access analytics. So the main way to access analytics is by clicking this Analyze tab when you're in the specific calculator or quiz you're most interested in. So in this case, if you're most interested in the real estate tax calculator, you'd go into it and then click this third tab on the top towards the right. Then you would go into overview and you'd get the overview metrics, right? So you can see the visitors, the starts, the conversions, the conversion rate, and engagement. This is just a sample test data. So there's only a few visits to show kind of how it would work. And then you can see a graph of the data. Again, here, this is just sample data. You can see the geographies, devices, traffic sources, and browser. And then when you go into the user details tab, this is where you get to see all the leads and visits. You get to see the date, their name, their email, location, how many questions they answered, where they visited from. So you get all this data about the leads, and then you click view details, and you can see the actual information they submitted. Okay. The reason why some of these questions can say not answered is because there's logic jump. And so basically, if there's logic jump, not everyone is going to see every question. In this case, question one is, do you invest in residential or commercial real estate? If you said residential, like John did for this question, they're not going to see question two, which is about commercial. They're going to get skipped to question three and go to residential. So that's why you might see sometimes not answered for certain questions that are skipped as part of logic jump. Then the key thing is you can adjust kind of the columns here that you want to see, the date range that you want to analyze for, and then you can export the data. And once you click export, the data then gets emailed to you, and you can do a deep dive on the data. You can dissect it based on time the user came in. You can dissect it based on email, based on location, based on browser, based on result scores, and you can do everything you can do in an Excel or Google Sheet with the data. So that's kind of a common and very powerful feature to run analytics on results and on specific question values. The last part of the analytics tab is the user funnels tab. And so here in the user funnels tab, you get to see how people started, completed, how many leads were generated, and engagements. And you get a deeper dive in the question level to say, okay, well, 44 people viewed the welcome screen. 16 of them started. Of the 16 that started, all 16 answered question one. Now, since, as we said earlier, some of the 16 went to question 2 and some of them went to question 3. But you can see that 2 plus question 2 plus question 3 is 14. So 2 people dropped off from their first question to what was their second question. And then all 14 of these people went to question 4 and completed question 4. Right? So you have to just be a little careful when there's logic jump. So 14 here in question 4. Then of the 14 people that came to the lead gen page, only 11 completed lead gen. So 11 of 14, which is pretty good. And then all 11 of the people who completed lead gen would have seen the results page. And one person viewed the results page twice. So that's why you have 12 views here. And then one of those 12 views, or one of the 11 people, clicked the CTA on the results page. And so this gives you really detailed analytics into your funnel. And it helps you optimize and say, well, why did only 16 people complete start after 44 that viewed? Is it because you had people view many times, or is it because the welcome screen the text isn't clear enough, the call to action isn't clear enough, maybe we should change the text on the button, maybe we should change the image or the background? What can we do to improve that conversion rate? And then here you might say, well, here this is all pretty good, but then from the 11 that came through and the 12 that viewed, why did only one click the CTA on the results page? What can we do to improve there? So it really helps you dissect what you can do to improve, which is the user funnels. And then the user details tells you what are people scoring, what are the results, how many questions are people answering, what are the results people are getting, how long people are spending on it, to give you a sense of the audience and figure out which of these people are most relevant for you to follow up with based on their specific questions they provided, based on the specific results they got. So I hope this gives you a good sense of the analytics tab.